What's up, Fight Fam? It's Caden from the Boxing Bros. This is the podcast. Thank you for tuning in. I'm here with my co-hosts. They're going to introduce themselves.
What's going on, everybody? This is Trill.
This is G.
It's TBE. What's good, y'all?
All right. So the first topic we're going to dive into is Anthony Joshua. He did an interview for Sky Sports, and he stated that there's 6 fighters that he wants to face. Those fighters were Alexander Usyk, Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury, Luis Ortiz, Adam Kalinowski, and Gerald Miller. So, Trill, what are your thoughts on that list?
That's the quarantine list. That's the quarantine list right there. He's just bored. He's naming people that don't even matter. He just want to fight somebody. He was like, I don't care. Give me anybody. He named everybody. Every boxer that this first name just came up that's in the top 10 or considered the top 10, he didn't even care. Even if he wasn't in the top 10, AJ just want to fight. The quarantine's getting to him. But I love the energy. You know what I'm saying? He's saying, bring on all challenges. He ain't running. He ain't hiding. I love it.
All right, Ned?
My take, yeah, I think it was just a list he just had to throw out that last minute because, you know, when that interview was starting, you know, they were just like, he was just like, they were just getting things set up. He was like, I'm getting things set up and things. So I think it was just a list just threw out from the top of his head. So
hit list off the top.
The top of the head. So
all right, G?
The only name that I really have issues with that he mentioned, to be honest, was Ortiz. Like, it doesn't really necessarily make sense. Ortiz is definitely on his way out. You know, like did he mention like a three-peat with Ruiz? No. I would rather see that. I would rather see Andy Ruiz Jr. again than to see Joshua fight Luis Ortiz. Like, I don't know. I don't think anybody wants to see that. I'm not necessarily mad at him mentioning Kalinowski. You know, although Kalinowski just lost, you know, it doesn't mean that he's still not one of the top tier fighters in the heavyweight division, you know, and he's fairly young. He's Polish. So he, you know, he has a different following that I think Anthony Joshua wants to capitalize off of. So from a strategic standpoint, Kalinowski, I could respect that name. You know, Ortiz, I don't know. It's like, it's not like he sells fights. He doesn't speak English. You know, you don't really see that much Cuban support behind him. I don't even see why AJ would want to fight Luis Ortiz, other than maybe it's like a bad grudge because he tried to fight him before when he was trying to make his New York debut, and then, you know, Ortiz curbed him. But I don't know. I just don't see why he would mention that name amongst all these other guys.
Yeah, well, my take on it is Fury, that's self-explanatory. Wilder as well. I think Fury and Wilder, you want to take on the three-headed monster, or what's perceived as a three-headed monster. Then you have Usyk. I can understand that as well. Usyk has a strong fan base. He's a talented fighter. A lot of people believe Usyk will beat him. So, you know, if Usyk does what he has to do against Derek Chisora, that would be a big fight. Then you have Adam Kalinowski. I think he wants to destroy the PBC fighter. That's what I think. I think he wants to fight Adam Kalinowski because he wants to destroy the PBC fighter. Luis Ortiz, that's Deontay Wilder's biggest win. I think beating Luis Ortiz is about him just showing Deontay Wilder that, like, bro, your biggest win is nothing. And I think that's the reason why PBC did all they could to block the fight with Luis Ortiz, because if Joshua beats Luis Ortiz, then Wilder's resume is legitimately made up of nothing. So although, as I pointed out, Luis Ortiz built his resume of straight fluff. He fought 5 fights in 1 year, 2010. Then he fought 9 fights in 2011, 5 fights in 2012, and his 20th fight was Joseph Raybach. Like, so we all know that Luis Ortiz resume. And when he fought Deontay Wilder, he was 28-0. So how good was the competition that Luis Ortiz faced, really? And Gerald Big Baby Miller, Well, you already know what it is. It's bad blood. No, I don't think you understand the type of bad blood that's there. He was going to fight Gerald Big Baby Miller. He was already the landlord to Gerald Big Baby Miller.
Paying
He
his mama
already
house
had a
rent.
thing. He already had a thing for his mama. You know what I'm saying? He was ready to son Gerald Big Baby Miller. And then Big Baby Miller tested positive for everything, every PED under the sun. Right? And so
Say, I'm gonna get out this fight.
exactly. So then insert Andy the Destroyer Ruiz, who gives him his first loss of his career. For whatever reason, no excuse, he stepped in, Ruiz beat him. I know Joshua feels like, man, if it was you across the ring from me, I would have been geeked up, I would have been excited, and I would have came for blood. And he's so mad, I think he wants to knock Joe Big Baby Miller out. So that's that's me dissecting that list. All right, moving on. Bob Arum said that they're in tentative talks for Manny Pacquiao versus Terence Crawford, and he is confident that the fight will happen. Trill, what are your thoughts on that fight?
I don't want to see it.
What?
I don't want to see TC and Manny Pacquiao. I don't want to see that fight. That's not what I want to see. But Bob Arum would rather one of his guys beat the legend. You know what I'm saying? And get that other belt. You know what I'm saying? So TC can have the WBO and the WBA belt. Gonna pay Pacquiao all types of money. TC probably ain't gonna get no bread for that fight. You know what I'm saying? Because they're gonna give it all to Pacquiao and says, hey, listen, we got all the odds for you. He's the old guy. That's how they're gonna try to. That's how they're gonna try to present it to Terence Crawford. I think this is just some slime stuff between Bob and Arum. He wants to have his fighter fight Manny Pacquiao. You know what I'm saying? Instead of it being a PBC fighter. Well, maybe it's not slime ball. Maybe it's just strategy. He wants to take care of Top Rank taking care of Top Rank. So that's probably what I see about it. I don't want to see that. I do not want to see TC and Pacquiao. That's not what I want to see.
All right, G.
I want to see that fight. And I mean, let's just be real. TC needs a notable name, you know, and Pacquiao is the name of names in the welterweight division. And so I hear what Trill's saying, but I'm looking at it as this is just a great fight. I want to see the best fight the best. So I'm all for it, to be honest with you. And on top of that, I don't even think Pacquiao is signed to the PBC anymore. I think wasn't he in talks with going to the Zone? So unless he went back to ESPN, I don't know. But I think it seems like this fight is doable for real. So I'm all for it, man. I would love to see Manny Pacquiao go toe-to-toe with Terence Crawford.
I want to see Spencer and Crawford.
I want to see that too.
I don't want to see I want to see Pacquiao. Pacquiao to me don't have nothing more to prove. I want Pacquiao, like I done said on previous shows of Boxing Bros, I want Pacquiao to ride off in the sunset. If he ain't gonna ride off in the sunset, I want him to ride off with some money. He ain't gonna ride off with no money with no TC. You know what I'm saying?
That's not true. ESPN gonna pay Pacquiao. They're gonna pay him top dollar. You know,
they're gonna pay Pacquiao. Yeah, they're gonna pay Pacquiao.
TC, I agree with you on TC. TC probably, man. I'm telling you, man, they're about to do TC dirty. But the benefit is you get Pacquiao on your resume. So then now
I don't think it's doing him dirty. He's probably still going to get the highest payday of his career.
Oh yeah, that too.
Be in the range of Pacquiao, but that's not robbery. That's what people like Deontay Wilder have to understand. You got Manny Pacquiao, a guy who's involved in the biggest fight in boxing history, a guy who's a pay-per-view star, a man whose name needs no introduction anywhere in the civilized world. And then there's you, Terence Crawford. Like, so, like you take what you get paid. Like, it's no disrespect to him. It's just you haven't accomplished what he has in the sport. So you can't expect to get paid like him, right? Manny Pacquiao's name rings bells anywhere in the world. Terence Crawford, they don't know you like that. You think people are tuning into the fight to see Terence Crawford fight Pacquiao? No, they're tuning in to fight to see Pacquiao fight Terence. That's why you take what they give you, because if you beat him, then you inherit a whole legion of fans.
Exactly.
Ned, Your thoughts on Terence Crawford, Manny Pacquiao versus Terence Crawford?
I think so a little like, Bob Arum wants to get back at Pac-Man for for leaving the top rank, but it's nothing. It's that's basically. But I would love to see the fight after as a casual, after all social events been canceled. Like, let's make that fight happen. Like, it'd be something exciting to watch once we all get our sports back. So yeah.
Bob Arum flexing.
Yeah.
Bob Arum just flexing.
I done already told y'all, Bob Arum don't know how many summers he got left. Bob is on the 3 summers plan, okay? He's not messing around with these fights. Nah, you think I'm joking. Remember I said that, and then Bob Arum...
He only got a few summers left. He wants to see all the fights.
Exactly. Bob Arum said about Xander Zayas, he said, I might be dead before some of my prospects become champions. He said that himself. He was talking about Xander Zayas, the 17-year-old Puerto Rican prospect. So Bob does have that on his mind. So I think Bob is willing to make all the big fights. Bob is like, hey, while I'm alive, I want to see some good stuff. That's why Fury Wilder make it. Fury Joshua, I believe Bob Arum's willing to make it. Because if I was Bob Arum, I'd want to see that fight before I go. So I truly believe Bob Arum's more willing to make fights than he ever was back in the day. With that being said, I think Pacquiao Crawford is a great fight. I think it's the best fight for both of them, and here's why. Manny Pacquiao started off in the lower weight divisions. Most people believe he could still make 140. Terence Crawford was the undisputed champion at 140, and then he moved up to 147. So here you have 2 smaller welterweights who campaign. Two smaller welterweights who campaign in the welterweight division because of their ability, because of their skill, because of their physical attributes, and their boxing IQ. If Manny Pacquiao fights Errol Spence is so much bigger than Manny Pacquiao. He's giving up a huge size disadvantage, right? And if Terence Crawford fights Errol Spence, he's going to be at a huge size disadvantage. If they fight Danny Garcia, they're both taking a risk because Danny Garcia, the risk for the reward doesn't add up right now. Danny Garcia will beat you up and hurt you, and you ain't going to win a belt. So you're just taking a lot of punishment. Then there's Keith Thurman, and Pacquiao already smoked him. Terence Crawford can smoke him too if he wants to, but he's not going to get the type of credit for that. I think them fighting each other does something for both fighters. If Pacquiao beats Terence Crawford, that just enhances his legacy. That just moves him up the all-time ladder. That just makes his run right now in his older age even more impressive than it already is, right? And if Terence Crawford beats Manny Pacquiao, that gives him the biggest name in the welterweight division on his resume. That gives him another belt, and that gives him the star power to go to a table with Errol Spence and say, now what? Now I've beaten the legend Manny Pacquiao. Now I have his belt, and now I have the fans behind me. Let's make the fight. And I think that will make the fight more likely to happen. So I think for both fighters, it's a great fight. It has the potential to boost both fighters and strengthen their position in negotiations with Errol Spence down the line.
I don't think that, well, I'm going to watch the fight. It's going to be a great fight, but I don't want to see it. You know what I'm saying? No, that's just me personally. I would rather see Pacquiao in there with a Mikey Garcia. I think Pacquiao already proved what he had to prove in the sport. You know what I'm saying? There's no need to go in there against a Terence Crawford, whoever. I want Manny Pacquiao to ride off in the sunset. That's just me personally. But I agree with everything y'all saying. You know what I'm saying? For TC, this is what TC's been waiting for. This is with him and Bomac. They've been waiting for this name. They've been waiting for Pacquiao for a while. You know what I'm saying? I think a Pacquiao can do without a Terence Crawford. You know what I'm saying? But that's just me personally.
All right, thank you for that. Dillian White said that Anthony Joshua is vulnerable to punches on the side of the head. Gee, what are your thoughts on that?
Who isn't though? You know what I mean? Like, it's like the comment, and I like Dillian, but that comment was like so asinine. It's like, duh. You know what I mean? So it's like, You know what Wilder always says? What's understood don't need to be explained. Like, really? Like, come on, son. Like, it's just, Dillian, man. Just, yeah, man.
Poor Dillian.
Yeah, poor Dillian.
Poor
man.
Dillian.
Like, you know, I think he's just doing whatever it takes to stay relevant, you know. So he's on social media just acting a fool, saying like the most obvious things, you know.
When you ain't got the gym, yo, there's so much you can do. Cut him a break.
Ned's losing his mind without the gym.
Yeah, you know what? I blame quarantine, man. It's not Dillian's.
I feel you, Ned. I feel you. Trill, what are your thoughts on that?
I'm with G and Ned, man. I blame quarantine, man. It gotta be. He's like, listen, he gets punches. He could get punched in the stomach. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, man. Dillian White, he's just bored. He's a warrior. He's a fighter. Get that boy in the gym. Quarantine is making him lose his mind. You know what I'm saying?
All right, Ned.
Yeah, I just think it's quarantine. Like, he has nothing to do, and at this point, it just say whatever you could just pop up in the spotlight. So, no, I don't blame him. You know, we all get hit on the side of the head. We'll go down.
You know, what I thought when I heard him that he said that, I was like, I got to increase his boxing IQ points for that, Dillian. I didn't know that, Dillian. You told the world something we never knew. Anthony Joshua is vulnerable to punches to the side of the head. But he forgot one thing. Every fighter is vulnerable to punches to the side of the head. So you're right. But Dillian White, I saw Joshua hit you to the side of the head and make your legs wobble. So what does that say about yourself? I mean, but respect to Dillian, man. Dillian talk trash, and Derek Chisora talk trash. Dillian put up like a video of him and Derek Chisora talking trash to one another. It was just like, I was laughing. That's just what they do. So, you know, shout out to Dillian.
He's like, yo, I'm gonna go through you.
Yeah, like you take an X-Lax or something. And Dillian was like what?
Yo, Dillian's face was priceless. He was like, huh?
No, like, what are you talking about? So, Dillian, the same way you felt when Derek Chisora said that to you, that's how I'm feeling about this. It's kind of like, huh? Yeah. But, you know, it is what it is, Dillian. All right, so David the Haymaker Haye said he would come out of retirement to fight the winner of Joshua versus Fury. What are your thoughts on that, Trill?
Quarantine's bringing the best out of everybody. That's right. Hey, stop it. You know what I'm saying? Just relax. You know what I'm saying? I thought you was enjoying your life as being a trainer. Just, you know what I'm saying? And listen, everybody's bored. This quarantine is making everybody lose their mind here. You know what I'm saying? Listen, maybe he could. But if it wasn't for the quarantine, I don't think he would be thinking like this. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna chop all this madness going up to people bored. People bored. You know what I'm saying? They need something to get people talking because of this quarantine stuff. It's something. It's the COVID. That's what it is. The COVID. You know what I'm saying?
All right, G.
Yo, I just seen him on Twitter. Right, they're doing like a little advertisement or whatever, where they're throwing like a ball to another analyst because they're promoting some show that he has coming up. Yo, he looks real old now. Like, bruh, you don't want no parts of any of these top dudes in the heavyweight division. Like, stop it. You've been inactive for too long. Like, just give it up, man. And not to mention, what is his height? Like 6'2"? Like,
yeah, 6'3", 6'2".
6'2", 6'3". You're way older. You've been inactive for dumb long. These dudes are still fresh. You really want to put your body through that punishment? Like, let's just be real, man. I respect him, but he's out of his mind right now, man. I'm telling you, quarantine getting everybody, man. So we gotta find this vaccine quick, you know.
All right, Ned.
Man, first off, I want to say, gee, everybody looking mad old out here. Diddy looking crazy. Deion Sanders look like Black Jesus. It's crazy. Everybody throwing a full gray beard, and I'm like, wow.
Everybody got their gray showing now. You know what I mean?
I'm like, wow, you guys are old. Like, but I think David Hayes must have got frustrated in the crib. He slammed his fist down, put a hole in the wall or something. And he must have thought, I still got it. He was frustrated, and that just popped in his head.
You know what it is? I got one. Conspiracy theory, right?
Oh, God. Here we go.
He's like, yo, you know what? Hayes like, yo, y'all did my man Wilder greasy. I'm back in. You know what I'm saying? I'm here to avenge Wilder's death. Bum.
Man, stop it.
You seen that hate that he took from Fury's father? You know what I mean? Fury
what?
I had him like, yo, listen here, your man's done. He's like, put money on it. He's like, you know,
he didn't put no money on it though.
Yeah, he didn't have that.
that would have been his time to make a statement.
The wisest move David Haye ever did. You know what I mean?
David Haye didn't put no money on it. So here's the deal. I'm gonna tell you what happened. Right? I'm gonna tell you what happened for real. I'll tell you what happened. David Haye on social media has been posting pictures of him working out with his son. Like he's posted pictures of him like curling his son, pictures of him like lifting his son, and his son is like, Dad, you're the strongest man alive. Like, Dad, you can beat Fury, you can beat Joshua. And David Haye's like, you know what? I probably can. You know, and so the confidence of the son, you know, the son just pumping that confidence into it. And David Haye, he's in shape now. Don't get it twisted. He's taking all these pictures with his shirt off. He got the six pack. He's fit. And, you know, he's more fit than some of these heavyweights out there in the game today. So I just think it's a matter of him working out with his son. He's starting to feel youthful. His son is probably giving him that feel, that love again. And then the heavyweight division's booming. Plus the money to fight these guys. But David Haye, realistically, I think Tyson Fury is too much of a stand-up guy to fight you at this time, especially with you being out of boxing for so long. And I think Anthony Joshua is more of a stand-up guy to do that. But there's one guy, the king of the leftovers, Deontay Exotic, who will gladly take that fight with you, David Haye, after this long layoff. You got the layoff, you're undersized, and you were knocked out in a prior fight. You are exactly the man Deontay Wilder's looking for. And you can get that fight anytime you like.
Nah, I hope that ain't the case, Kaden. I hope that ain't the case.
Because, do you doubt Wilder would take that fight?
I don't doubt Wilder. I just was hoping that wasn't the case because I seen Chavez Senior working out. So I was like, I hope he don't call out Ryan Garcia or nothing.
All right. Anthony Joshua said that Deontay Wilder is a word that begins with B and ends in H. So what are your thoughts on that comment? And I'll add the rest, and I'm paraphrasing because I don't have the direct quote, but he said he doesn't normally talk trash about fighters, but when he has to, you know, he can dig deep and go there with the fighters. And his feeling about Deontay Wilder is basically he's a word that begins with B and ends in H. So I'm gonna go to G with this one first. What's your thoughts on Anthony Joshua saying that about Wilder?
All right. I look at it from two perspectives. Actually, I'm cool with AJ saying what he's saying, to be honest with you. And the reason why is because Wilder did the very same thing to AJ when AJ got defeated by Ruiz in New York. He was like, I'm paraphrasing, but it's pretty much saying, like, I told you he's a fake champ, he's a paper champ, he's not real, this, that, and the third. And this was like literally, I think, the night of the knockout, or maybe the very next day. Like, this dude probably, you know, AJ probably in the hospital recovering. Wilder didn't care, you know. Wilder didn't care about AJ's family or AJ's legacy, none of that. He didn't care about any of that stuff. So, I mean, when dudes call other dudes out their names, it is what it is. You gotta understand the AJ Wilder like controversy has been going on for years. Like this is like for years now. So AJ saying that, I'm being honest with you. Maybe it's because we're from America. Like that's not even that deep. Like you know what I'm saying? Like okay, he calling the B word. All right, cool. You know, like maybe in the UK, people are like, how dare he? Like, whoa, these are fighting words. But dudes talk so much trash over here. Like all the fighters are talking beefy and spicy. So I'm not phased by it, to be honest with you. And to be honest, honestly, I salute AJ for actually saying that because sometimes AJ, for me, he takes the high road too much. And, you know, it's good to see him actually like bite back, you know, but yeah, it is what it is. This is just AJ and Wilder just being AJ and Wilder.
So I gotta jump in for a second. You said something that I disagree with. You said the B word's nothing over here. Where I'm from, the B word's everything. Where I'm from, if you're on the basketball court and someone calls you a B word, it's an automatic fight.
No, I agree. No. What I'm talking about is on all the fighters. This is what I'm saying. Like the fighters. I'm not talking about on like the street level. I'm saying like the fighters all the time be talking greasy to each other and nothing happens. Like all the time.
But the B word?
Bro, think about this. We had Miller talking about, you know, sleeping with Wilder's wife, bro. You know what I'm saying? To me, that's like on-site beef and nothing happened. You know, like there's a lot of stuff that dudes say out here that's like, all right, whatever. You know, so calling him the BIT, whatever, it's like it's not that serious in comparison to what other dudes be saying. Like to me, it's like, oh, it's just like, you know, when you invite a dude to your private part. Dudes say it so much now. Like these heavyweights are just like they're immune to it. It's like, all right, whatever, yo, sign a contract and we fight. It ain't one of those like back in the days where it's like, yo, you know what? Yo, you're not gonna disrespect my ego. It doesn't happen in this elite level. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm like, I don't really see it as a big deal. Like, I don't even think Wilder took it as a big deal either. It's like, okay, that's the best you got. You know what I mean? Like, Fury created a whole campaign disrespecting Wilder and made it funny. You know, like that got at Wilder.
Yeah, it was funny until February 22nd, right?
That's my point. You get what I'm saying? So I'm like, I don't think Wilder's fazed by that comment. It's like that's light. To me, it's light. I'm just happy that AJ actually, you know, is stepping up a bit with his trash talk because we wouldn't hear that from AJ in the past.
All right, true.
Like you call somebody a B where I'm from, those are fighting words. You know what I'm saying? But I agree with G. It was good. It was good to see AJ, you know what I'm saying, fire back. You know what I'm saying? Like he said, AJ's always taking the high road. And I like to see that energy from AJ. Here's the thing. I think that a lot of people agree with AJ. If you look at the comment section of the audits, the 5-part audits, I think a lot of people in the comment section would agree with AJ. Some of them actually said the same thing in the comment section. I think a lot of people feel that way. You attacked this man, AJ, after he lost. You attacked AJ. AJ didn't make no excuses or nothing. AJ didn't make no excuses when he lost. He said the better man won that night. You went ahead and you lost. And when you lost, we got 50-11 excuses. You know what I'm saying?
50-11.
We got 50-11 excuses. You know what I'm saying? About why you lost. So, of course, I can see why AJ called you a bitch. You know what I'm saying? Because the B word, excuse me.
Hey, man, dude.
I'll see why he called you the B word. Because you're the one that made the excuses. You know what I'm saying? Not him. You did. After all this stuff that you went out your way to do interviews and all this. And that's what I think that is. You know what I mean?
Ned?
And I think he was trying to be offensive.
For clarity, can you just restate that statement, the AJ statement again?
He said that Deontay Wilder is a word that begins with B and ends in H.
You see, you guys are quick to jump to the B word when I think he was just saying big mouth. Deontay Wilder is a big mouth. Like he just.
That's 2 words, bro.
It's combined. It's combined.
Big
mouth. Like he's a big mouth. Big mouth. You know, it starts with B, ends in H. You know, well, one word, whatever.
Unless you're saying you're gonna put like the hyphen and make it one word.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
You're
gonna make it a compound? You're gonna make it a compound word? All right.
So we are, you know, Deontay Wilder, he just talks so much. He has a mouth bigger than his stomach. So that's all I'm just gonna say. I'll leave it at that. So he kept it classy. He didn't directly call him what we all wanted him. We know he called him, but big mouth. I'll leave it at that. He kept it clean for the kids.
Well, I mean, he called him a beach, you know? And where I'm from, if you call someone a beach, that's the ultimate sign of disrespect. That means you don't respect anything about that person. When you call someone a beach, that means you're prepared to slap that person. That means you're prepared to throw down and fight with that person. I'm gonna tell you, like, these are true stories. Like, I've seen it. I was about 16 years old. I'm on the court. We're playing ball. We're hooping with the older heads, which was an honor when you're 16 and you're young, because the older heads don't let all the young kids play. And then there was another young kid who was playing, and he was around the same age. And the older heads, what they do to the younger kids is they try to intimidate you to scare you from playing your best ball. So that they'll come on you, they'll talk trash to you, they'll hard foul you.
To
And
throw you in the polls.
exactly.
I'm a witness. I'm a witness. Kaden ain't lying. Kaden ain't lying.
But this one kid, they were hacking him and they were talking trash to him, and they were trying to get in his head, and it was working. And then he said to one of the older heads something, and then he called the older head the B word. The B word that ends in H. And the older head just dropped the ball, decked him, started decking him, didn't stop decking him. Everyone grabbed the older head, and the young dude was just bubbled up. And the older head was like, don't you ever call me the beach word. Like, ball is ball, but you call me the beach word, you're going somewhere else with it. And, like, even the older heads who pulled that guy off of the young dude told him, like, hey, man, you call a man the beach word, you call a man the B word, you better be ready to square up. Like, what happens after is what happens after. Even Draymond Green called LeBron James the B word in the NBA Finals. LeBron James threw him to the ground and walked over him and was like, don't talk to me like that. So I say that to say, for Anthony Joshua to say that Deontay Wilder is the B word, he must have, like, no respect for this dude at all. To me, that's a sign of, like, absolute disdain. Like, Anthony Joshua's a guy who doesn't normally talk trash. So when a guy who doesn't normally talk trash automatically hits to the B word about someone, like, he didn't even call Gerald Miller the B word in their press conferences. To mine, I don't recall.
Yeah, he didn't even call Brazil the B word. And remember,
Yeah.
Brazil was talking spicy to his face.
He didn't take Brazil serious enough for anything, bro. He was looking at Brazil like, so, like, he was just like, bro, you're gonna come here and get knocked out. Like, yeah, Brev, listen, Brev. You're a putio, Brev. Like, it's, you know, like the real, yeah, he's like, come on, life, man. I'm like, yeah, you're not about that life. You know. Yeah, so I just think he really has no respect for Wilder. And I do agree with G. It is a little tit for tat. I got your back from when you know, Wilder was calling him a coward and talking trash when he lost to Ruiz. But I think when you call someone the B word, that's just like, yo, no respect. So moving on, Danny Garcia. He said he feels like Spence has the perfect style for him. Danny Garcia also said that Sean Porter was hitting Earl Spence with a lot of shots. And Danny Garcia said he saw things in Spence's fight with Mikey Garcia that he can take advantage of. Trill, what are your thoughts on on those comments from Danny Garcia?
Danny Garcia's been saying this for a while. He's been saying this for a while. When people was afraid to call out Earl, Danny wasn't afraid to call out Earl. He wanted to make that fight happen. So it's time. It's time. You know what I'm saying? Danny think he can do it. And you know what I'm saying? I think that would be an exciting fight. I think they match up very well. You know what I'm saying? I think them two match up very, very well. I would love to see that fight. You know what I'm saying? I think it's a tough fight for both guys. Listen, if Danny Danny's amazing, man. So yeah, Danny, I agree with Danny. Danny think he can see something. I think their styles do match up. I think that'd be a great fight.
G.
Yeah, I agree with Trill. Like when you think about their styles, yeah, you know what I mean. The with Spence, he could box and brawl, but he likes to stay, close to the fight in exchange. That's tailor made for Garcia, bro. So I don't know. It is a good matchup. It's dangerous for either man, but I'm hoping Spence is smart enough to implement a new strategy going up against a dude that hooks like that. Like you know, not yeah. I like that fight. I do like that fight. It's a dangerous fight, and so I'm just hoping that my man Spence will have a strategy to go around, exchanging with Garcia, especially with Garcia with them fast hooks, man. It's gonna be dangerous. So I agree with what Garcia is saying. Danny, he sees like, yo, the way that Earl is fighting, that is tailor made for me. But I think Earl's smart enough to be like, I'm not gonna fight like that against you,
I would hope so, but Ned.
I think it'll be a challenge. Like Danny needs a shot. Like ever since the Thurman loss and the Porter loss, he's been taking fights. He fought Granados, he fought Red Cash, but it's not like fights people been like. It's not the fight that people need to respect Danny's name, but I think it'll be the fight that he wants. It's a fight he wants, and if let's see it. Like why not? Like if he sees things that he from the last fight that Earl Spence did wrong, that he feels like he could capitalize off of, go for it. At this point.
But do you see it though?
Huh?
Do you see it? What he's saying?
Yeah, I see it. I see how vulnerable he was against Porter, and I see like with Danny Garcia's style how he could get in there, and if he catches you and he could counter, it could be either man's fight.
Yeah, so I mean, that fight was supposed to happen January of this year, and then Earl got into the accident. I think Danny Garcia feels confident, and I think he should. In my opinion, I always say this is my opinion, and I happen to believe I know a little something about boxing. I think Danny Garcia is undefeated professional. I never seen him lose a fight. To me, his closest fight was Marco Herrera.
Right?
If you were going to say he lost any fight, that would be the fight that you can argue. But I still think he won that fight. But to me, that was his closest fight. I think he beat Keith Thurman, and I think he beat Sean Porter. So I think he's undefeated based on what I've seen. So you have someone, and I think in Danny's mind, he tells himself the same thing. I may have lost those fights, but I didn't feel like the loser at the end of the fights. And I think that's important for a fighter because when the bell rings, because fighters genuinely know. Like, I feel like at the end of Wilder Fury 1, Fury felt like the winner, and Wilder felt blessed to get a decision. And I think it showed in their reaction. So I think as a fighter, you know what took place in that ring. You know when you got a gift in that ring. And I think Danny feels like, I got robbed. Like, genuinely, I got robbed. So to him, he's still unbeatable. He's going in against Spence, who's undefeated. And you got these two guys who are talented, skilled, and two of the biggest welterweights in the division. I think it's a great fight. I'd love to see the fight. I think Danny has as good a chance as anyone against Earl Spence. I think Earl Spence has as good a chance as anyone against Danny Garcia. So the only problem is Danny's in a position where he has no belts, and he hasn't really he brings them out, but he hasn't proven he's a pay-per-view star to the point where you will forego fighting another champion just to fight him. And so I think he's in a position where it's difficult for him to be selected over Pacquiao, selected over Crawford, and selected over some of the other fighters. But if that fight was to take place, being 100 with you, that's a 50-50 fight if there ever was one to me. So, I mean, it'll be difficult to pick the winner of that fight. All right, so it's for me.
people ain't haven't been the same after they fight Danny. That's one thing that you can say. You can look at Keith. You can look at Sean. They haven't been the same. Go watch their fights after they fought Danny. They don't look the same. You know what I'm saying? So, like,
Yeah, Sean struggled with Ugas, and
and
yeah,
you see what happened with Keith. Keith said he had his shoulder was injured, and then you see the fight with him and what's my man's name? Rocked him.
Jose Cito Lopez.
Jose Cito Lopez rocked him. You know what I'm saying? The Riverside Rocky rocked him. You know what I'm saying? So listen,
And
people
then
ain't been the
Pac-Man
same.
dropped him.
And Riverside man rocked him and Pac dropped him. That's
Exactly.
what happened. You know what I'm saying? But listen, Danny is no slouch. Danny, you fight Danny Garcia, and you go 12 rounds, you're gonna be different. You're gonna be different. That's all.
Yep, I agree. All right, so bear with me, everyone. Daniel Jacobs rated Caleb Plant at the bottom of the fighters at the 168-pound division, and he said that Caleb Plant is beatable and he sees flaws in his game. Caleb Plant responded to Daniel Jacobs by saying that Daniel Jacobs is old and he's on his way out. He also said that if they fought, he would give Daniel Jacobs a boxing lesson. Fellas, do you want to see Caleb Plant versus Daniel Jacobs? I'll start one off with Ned.
Man, right now, I'd rather see a cat fight a cactus, man, at this point. Of course, I want to see fight Daniel Jacobs, man. There's nothing better to do. If you could book the fight once quarantine's over, let's make it happen. Let's make it happen.
I kind of want to see a cat fight a cactus. Maybe I'd watch it right now. I don't know. All right, Trill.
I was gonna say I'm with Ned. I'm with Ned, 100%. Yeah, I would rather see the fight. I want to see the fight. Why not? Both guys can use that fight. You know what I'm saying? Look, Caleb needs a good win, a good name. You know what I'm saying? Danny Jacobs, you know what I'm saying? Like, he can use a fight. You know what I'm saying? This is a good fight. I don't see no problems with it. You know what I'm saying? I really wanted to see my man David Benavidez, you know what I'm saying, go in there against Caleb Plant. But you know, that fight can happen. But I do
Benavidez
agree
said
with
he's at the bottom of the 168 division too, by the way. I said
Listen,
Caleb's at the bottom.
Caleb, listen, I thought that Caleb can box. I don't consider him at the bottom. You know what I'm saying? But he can definitely box. You know what I'm saying? And I do see places where, you know what I'm saying, like he can be beat and where he's vulnerable at. So can Danny Jacobs do it at his old age? You know what I'm saying? We yet to see. You know what I'm saying? But hey, why not make the fight happen?
All right, G.
Yeah, I think to piggyback off of what Trill's saying, you know, Plant needs a notable win. You know, he needs this type of name on his resume. You know, like when you see him on PBC, he's like he just got his own show, like his last fight in Memphis, where he was like the star lineup. You know, and yeah, he was like the main card. So that's the first time I've seen that from Plant. And that's far from pay-per-view, but at least it was on Fox. I think if he gets like Daniel Jacobs, like I don't know if that would be on DAZN, you know, but him going to fight Jacobs on DAZN, that would be a great look because he'll get that exposure that he needs, especially, you know, DAZN does the Matchroom thing. Is it Matchroom? It is Matchroom, right?
Well, Eddie Hearn's Matchroom, yeah.
Yeah. So he'll also get the viewership in the UK. It'll be a good look for him. Now, all right. This is where I prefer him taking the Daniel Jacobs fight over Benavidez because Benavidez is bigger and stronger. So that's a real risky fight for Caleb Plant. But with the Daniel Jacobs, it's more of a toss-up for me. It could go either which way, but I still think Plant will beat Jacobs. I'm not too sure about Plant beating David Benavidez. You get what I'm saying? So, hey, if you got to pick one guy that's talking spicy, go with the veteran on this one. I'm be honest. I'd rather go with the old man than to go with the fresh killer, you know? So
David Benavidez ain't nothing to play with.
that's what I'm saying, man.
Now you sound like Trill, man. You guys. Hey, listen.
Oh, listen, you see what he did to the round,
Listen,
What's wrong with sounding like Trill?
if Trill had his way, man, fighters wouldn't fight until they were like in their 40s.
No. I want to see the
7 fights from now, Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney. Trill will be like, it's not ready yet. You know what I mean? We gotta push it back a little bit. It can get a little bit better.
You know, the soup's still brewing. You know what I mean?
Oh man, I'm not with that. Honestly,
I got a lot of summers left.
You know, what I would hope for is Benavidez versus Caleb Plant. I would be okay with them taking a few fights in between that fight, only because I think that the fight won't generate as much interest as it deserves yet, because they're not superstars globally. So sometimes people say, oh, well, give us the fights when we want them. When we want them, the die-hard boxing fans sometimes isn't what's best for the fighter, because for the risk that the fighters are taking, they're not going to get compensated. And so if Caleb Plant fights David Benavidez, I anticipate both fighters getting the worst beating they ever had in their entire careers. Regardless of who wins, they're both going to have to deal with a lot of punishment, and you want them to be fairly compensated for that fight. And I just don't think it will generate the type of interest that would be worth the damage that they're going to receive at this particular point in time. But I'd still want to see it. Like, if the fight's going to come, I'm not going to complain about it. I'm going to watch it, and I think they should make it if they can make it. But with that being said, if Daniel Jacobs and Caleb Plant could fight one another, I think that would help boost Caleb Plant. It would give Daniel Jacobs a chance to prove he's still at the elite level in 168-pound division, or prove that he is at the elite level in the 168-pound division. And it would set up a potential fight with David Benavidez, depending on who Benavidez fought and if he was able to build his resume against that opponent. So I think it's a great fight. You should make the fights happen. I'm more concerned with Caleb Plant missing out on an opportunity. Caleb, walk with me. So what's very big right now is these meat substitutes. Like, you look at like the Whopper, the Impossible Whopper, the Impossible this, the Impossible that. All these substitutes for meat. Even Dunkin' Donuts has like the Impossible sausage sandwich, right? You look at all the vegans in the world. You look at all this stuff, and your name is Caleb Plant. Dude, why are you not Caleb Plant-based Plant? You know what I'm saying? Why are you not Mr. Plant-based? Like, how are you not capitalized?
Mr. Impossible.
Yeah,
Mr. Impossible.
Exactly. Like, Caleb.
They eat barbecue, bro.
Hey, I know he eats barbecue. Just don't eat it in public. Hey, listen, man, you gotta capitalize on this plant-based thing. Hey, come on, man. Listen, I'm not going to throw some people under the bus. I know vegans that wear leather, right? I know people. All these people, man, say all that stuff, and behind closed doors, they get the urge for a cheeseburger. Hey, Caleb, plant-based Plant. Caleb the Impossible. Listen, my man, make that money.
He'll get a huge PETA endorsement. I know that.
Hey, listen, can you imagine? Vegans would love him. They all flock to him. He's our fighter. He's the man. Like, listen, well, Caleb doesn't eat meat. Behind closed doors, Caleb got a slab of ribs just standing them there.
Oh, man.
All right, so the next fight we're going to go to is Layla Ali versus Clarissa Shields. They're still doing interviews about it. There's still traction behind it. Layla saying get the money up. There's video of Layla Ali and Clarissa Shields training. Layla Ali looks like she's in tremendous shape right now. Fellas, do you want to see the fight? And do you think the fight will actually happen? I'm going to start this one off with G.
Yo, I definitely want to see the fight. And now I'm more confident that this fight will happen. And after seeing Layla Ali on that heavy bag, I'm getting kind of nervous for your homie Clarissa Shields. Yo, man, listen, man. I was like, man, she looking like she's been training for real. Like, she hasn't missed a step. It's going to be tough because if she can maintain that type of punching output during the fight with Clarissa, and you could tell she punches hard, bro. Like, honestly, they're not even in the same weight class. It's not even fair. Like, it really ain't fair. Like, it's going to be a bad night for Clarissa, you know? Like, so I hope both ladies are fully compensated for this fight, especially for Clarissa, because she might not be the same after that type of fight. Like, honestly, I rock with Clarissa, man, but I'm slowly leaning more towards Layla Ali on this one because it looked dangerous, man. Like, because I was thinking, like, she's inactive. You know what I mean? She ain't going to last that long. She's been out the game for too long. I don't know, even though it's just a heavy bag. But if she's training like this now, I can only imagine once the contracts get signed and she does a full-out training camp just for Clarissa Shields. You know what I mean? And just her name alone, she could bring in, like, top-notch sparring partners and things of that nature. She got the bread for it. So she has the resources. She got the name. It's going to be dangerous for Clarissa. But, yeah, I definitely can't wait, you know? Yeah, I'm actually scared for her, man. I'm being honest, man. T-Rex, I don't know, you know?
All right, Trill.
Oh, man. Yeah, I agree with G, man. I rock with Carissa, but Layla over there chewing on rocks. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, man.
Listen, yo, she gonna beat the brakes off that little girl. She gonna beat the brakes off her. Listen, this it's different. It's different. I honestly think, listen, Clarissa Shields is really gonna have to think about this. She's really gonna have to think about this. I think that she has the talent. I think she's very talented. Don't get me wrong. I think she's very talented. But she's just so big. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And Layla Ali is just too big. You know what I'm saying? That's a big woman.
No, it's almost not fair, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like the mother dragging some little fresh girl, you know what I'm saying? Beating her up outside. You know what I'm saying?
Put her head through the washer and dryer.
Yeah.
Running things around here.
For real. Like, a little girl got flip out her mouth, you know what I'm saying? And the mother, you know what I'm saying, just grabbed her. Like, listen, you don't pay no bills around here. You know what I'm saying? That's basically what it's going to be like. That's what it's looking like. You know what I'm saying? That's all I make the fight happen. But I just think that it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad.
All right, Ned.
Yeah, I'm not agreeing with Trills and G. Like, much respect to Layla. You got that name on you. You know, your father's a great father. But this is looking like Rocky 8. You feel me?
What you mean?
Rocky retire, he come back and fight that young bull, Mason Dixon. Y'all never seen Rocky 8?
Oh,
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Rocky
Balboa. I don't know if it was 8 all the way to 8. It was the 8.
I don't even know if it was 8.
It's called Rocky Balboa.
It was just called Rocky. It was called Balboa or something.
Was it even 8? Because there was the one with Tommy Morrison and in that one, right?
That was the last one.
No, but that would be Rocky 6.
That was 5.
That was 5.
5 was Tommy Morrison.
Tommy Morrison.
Yeah, that was 5.
Yeah, and then so I'm saying the one he's saying what Mason
exactly
Dixon
the one Rocky
6.
Balboa is 6. He told me.
Yeah, but that was his own thing. That wasn't part of the Rocky franchise. That was called Balboa.
Rocky 12, it'll be when he was in the wheelchair.
Like Rocky, you know what? We can't even blame him for not knowing how many numbers of Rockies there
There's
are.
So many
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
He counting Creed.
Layla,
No, but Creed
like,
2 would be 8.
Layla, I love you. It's just like stay retired. You've been inactive for almost 13 years. Like stay retired. You know, no need to go out there to prove nothing. You know, we know who you are. You have a great legacy. You come from a great family. You come from a line of great fighters. Let's not like it's at this point. We don't want to. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see Layla. I don't want to see that at all. And G, you should keep that same energy you had with David Hayes. Like, nah, just stay retired.
Yo, hold on. No, wait. Let me respond. David Haye, it's like this. If Klitschko said, yo, I'm coming back, yo, Klitschko's that dude. He has the height, the reach, the power. Yeah. Even though he's inactive, that's not going nowhere.
And he was competitive in his last fight.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But
Maidana's coming back.
He's smaller. You know what I mean? He's really a cruiserweight. So he's a smaller heavyweight going up against giants. That's why I'm like, But in this Clarissa versus Layla Ali is different. Layla Ali has all the physical attributes that even if she's inactive, she can still put damage on Clarissa. That's why it's different.
And she ain't been in no wars.
Exactly.
She ain't take no damage or been in no wars.
Thank you. And the fact that she's looking like how she's looking right now in that clip with her hitting the heavy bag, I'm like, yo, she's probably dead serious on killing Clarissa right now. There's levels to this, Ned. I'm telling you, bro.
Maybe she's just training, yo. Y'all, they sipping in the narrative, man.
She says she'll fight her if the price is right, dude.
If the price is right.
She said it several times. And every time you see her after making that statement, she's in better shape.
Better shape? All right.
Yeah. All right. So many times I've heard Clarissa Shields say that she's baby Wilder. She's the female version of Wilder. But I never thought she'd take it this far. She's going to fight a 42-year-old coming off of an extended layoff, longer than any layoff that any one of Wilder's opponents has ever had. And she's really campaigning for that fight. So when she says baby Wilder, she's baby Wilder indeed. So now, here's my thing about the fight. Layla Ali, you have to be a shrewd business operator. And here's what I mean. Don't go down and wait. No. You're coming off the extended layoff.
Yeah.
You don't need Clarissa. If Clarissa wants this fight as bad as she says, if she's the GOAT like she claims, she'll come up to your weight class and take the fight. So don't go down and wait. So you don't need to. You have nothing to prove. She's the one who needs to prove something. So she already has the advantage of activity. She already has youth on her side. She already has all those things going for her. Layla Ali is a mother too, a housewife, and she's been inactive. And she's 42 years old. So I don't want to hear anything about meeting Layla Ali at her weight division. I don't want any excuses. If you want people to even respect this fight, Clarissa, for you fighting someone who's been done with boxing for years, being a mom, you fight her in her weight division. And if you fight her in her weight division, I'm picking Layla.
She got him. Yeah, she got to fight in her weight division. That's the only way.
So I guess we should close with this. We've been getting a lot of comments. I appreciate it, the good, the bad, the indifferent. You know, Kanye has this line in one of his songs. He says, everybody feels some way about Ye, but at least you feel something, right? So that's how I feel. I'll give everybody a chance to respond to comments that they've seen about them, good, bad, indifferent, whatever. And I'll start this one off with G.
All right, I'll say this. People, I am G. I am not complex.
You argue with fools. People from a distance can't tell who's who.
I think half of my hate. I think half of my hate really is Complex's hate, but people are putting my name on it. You know what I mean? So please put some respect on my name. You know, but I'll say this though, like I do. Hey, I'm be honest with you, man. I love the hate. I love the smoke. You know, like as long as it's like within boundaries. You know, like I get it. I understand. You know, social media culture. I understand how trolls work. So it don't faze me one bit. You know. It's just, and another thing I like to say is like salute to everybody that actually gives us suggestions and you know, words of encouragement. You know, like the way we're progressing and we're growing the channel. Like we do have people that acknowledge us, like day one supporters. You know, still commenting like, "Yo, it's good to see you guys growing." So salute to that. You know what I mean? But it's just, hey man, I get it. I'm the Wilder supporter on the channel. I get it. You know what I mean? But like again, I'm not a wild dad. I'm just
So
a wild
am I. I'm just a real
Yeah, you
realistic person. I buy all Wilder's fights. I've seen all Wilder's fights. Some of these people in the comments who are coming at us saying, "Oh, you Wilder hater, you bootleg his fight. You never showed up to his fight. If you were a real Wilder fan, it wouldn't be 98% of the crowd rooting for Fury in America." I'm sorry. I'm just coming in. Go ahead. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying. I just saw an opportunity, so you know. Go ahead.
Sometimes I feel like, you know, people be coming at me kind of OD hard, like I'm some type of like Wilder fanatic. I'm far from it. You know, it's just I like Wilder. You know, I support Wilder. But that's where it stops. I could like and support somebody and still be like, yo, I'm gonna call out your flaws, bro. Like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? So I feel like I'm not one of those like blind supporters where it's like if Wilder came in, it's like, yo, sip this Kool-Aid. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna do that, bro. I'm like, who are you? You know? So
look at that. Man ain't agreeing with that.
Before the fight, the Fury 2. Wilder Fury 2, you did jump out the airplane with Wilder.
Word he did.
How about this?
You pulled your parachute.
Listen.
You pulled your parachute.
Listen. Hey, Shelly couldn't have landed that plane. Let me say, go ahead.
Have I jumped out the window for Wilder before in the past? Obviously, yes. Because I honestly thought he was going to knock out Fury. So I was wilding, you know what I mean? But hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. I think we're all entitled to a mistake. You know what I mean? So
but you made this mistake several times. You made it with Seth Mitchell. You made it with Bermain. And then you made it with Wilder. But go ahead.
Hold on. Listen here, man. Listen here. Is it my fault? I like to support mines. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey,
yes. Yes. I mean, this is the short answer to that. How about you just pick the better fighter? How about that?
Yo, man, listen. I'm slowly getting there, but right now, my man's still up. Just because he's down don't mean he out.
He still got a chance, right? He still got a punch of chance. He still got a punch of chance.
I'm telling you right now, if Wilder learned from that beatdown, man, listen, he in the lab right now training. He in the lab studying.
He can't train. He got a hurt bicep.
He can't train. You know what I'm talking about. He can study. He can study footage. Hey, man, listen, have faith.
Wilder remind me of Jamarcus Russell, man. They gave that man a blank DVD and told him to watch it. He
lied. That was crazy. That was crazy. But hey, listen here, man. All the listeners, man, all the supporters, go easy on your boy. You know what I mean? Just go easy on your boy, man. Hey, I make mistakes. It's okay, you know, but it's honest mistakes, man. And I still believe Wilder could make it, you know, and he could come back and become champ again. Don't comment under here like, yo, you crazy. You should kill yourself. You know what I mean? That's kind of wild, but
all right, Ned.
Yeah, I appreciate this opportunity. I know, it's been a long grind. Well, it's been a year, but we've been grinding it out, and it's finally paying off. And I want to just thank our subscribers. And I see the comments. I love the love, and I love the hate too, But sometimes I'm out here. I'm
yesterday.
You got like your first negative comment yesterday.
Yo, you do to this hate.
I've been here for I've been into for like 2 years now, and every time we have an episode, they bring up multiple fighters, and a lot of these names sometimes sound the same or just like
they sound the same.
I gotta make sure I'm gonna be more familiar with my fighters from now on. I promise y'all that.
Kovalev and Beterbiev, they're the same fighter. Evolve.
Yo, AJ want to fight Lomachenko.
Oh, man.
Nah, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yo, we here. Yo, I pass it to Trails, though.
Trill Dollar Bizzle.
What's going on, everybody? This is Trill. I just wanted to say thank you, everybody, from the heart, man, for all the support and all the love and encouragement that y'all been showing us. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody who press play and actually watch a video. You know what I'm saying? Our videos be really long, and y'all sit through them and y'all watch them and y'all rock with them. Y'all don't know how much that feels. We just 4 normal brothers who love the sport of boxing, man. And you know what I'm saying? The fact that y'all rocking with us and value our opinion, that means a lot. That means more than you would know. So just continue to, you know what I'm saying, to rock with us, because we do it for y'all, man. And subscribe, and we're going to keep bringing you dope videos. You know what I'm saying? Katie going to keep bringing you some dope videos, and G going to keep bringing you some dope videos. I got some dope videos coming. Ned got some coming. We all got different shows coming. All from Boxing Bros. Boxing Bros is we're gonna do something special. Boxing Bros is special. You know what I'm saying? So thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for rocking with us. It means a lot.
All right. So I'm gonna say this. Shout out to people who've been watching our videos and commenting since day one. We got people like LK, Jay Bagger, Hung Like we can't can't finish it, man. We ain't forget you. You know, even my man,
Omen.
Yeah.
Omen.
The Marcus cousin, third cousin. My man came at me. We had a joke session with each other, but it ended in peace. And that's the thing. If you come at us and you come at us in a respectful way, we don't care. That's what we do to each other. So, you know, you can say what you got to say. We'll go back and forth. But if you get too disrespectful or whatever, then, I mean, it is what it is. For me, I think for everyone who appreciates what we do, it takes effort to do these things. And, of course, when you put yourself out there, some people are going to like you, some people are going to dislike you. There's some dude, like, something to Scotland, he hates me, bro. Like, he hates me from like day one. He
hates you like Iron Strikes hates me.
Yeah, he was like, he said I can't debate. He just hate everything I do. If I breathe, he's like, oh my God, like he is in hell like that. Like it's just the dude just dislikes me. But hey, man, like I said, as long as you feel something, man, I even appreciate the fact that you watched the video. But for the people who come at me, like I see like a lot of negative stuff about me just presenting facts about Deontay Wilder. When there's a legion of people who are talking about this man like everything he punches, he destroys, and I know that not to be true, I can't argue with someone who has a false perception of their king, right? And then when I hear people say, you knock out 40 guys, you can't be a bum. You have to have power. Well, I know the quality of those 40 guys. Everyone, tell me you didn't see a Deontay Wilder opponent in those videos that you were sitting down thinking, I could beat him. Like, hey, I could beat him. Like, and then I have people disrespecting me. Like, I train. Like, I could be a legit pro if I wanted to. I'm not saying I'll be champion, whatever, but I know for damn sure that, like, some of those guys I seen didn't even deserve a license. Didn't deserve a license. I know for damn well I would at least deserve my license. Like, you know what I mean? So this is one of those deals where
I'm just saying this right now, bro. With me in your corner, we definitely grabbing 2, 3, 4 belts. You know what I'm saying? We definitely.
Hey,
you know
especially if I get to do that. Especially if I get to do that. I get Dustin Nichols. I get Daniel Sheehan. And I get Marlon Hayes. Hey, I get Dayman McCreary? I get him. I get those guys. Oh, come on now.
Let's go.
On now. Give me Joseph Raybot. Oh, I'm on the way. I'm on the way to the top. Lenny Bruce.
I got you. I'm a Don King. I'm a Don King.
And I know the 4 keys to success. I know the 4 steps. So
Hey, who you want in the ring right now, man?
Huh? Who I want?
Yeah.
Who I want? Riddick Bowe. Riddick Bowe, baby.
Oh,
Big Daddy. I'm still not going to step it up until after the 6th round. Big Daddy still got it. Being 100% though, it's just all love. We just do it for you. We hope you enjoy, and we hope that you'll continue rocking with us. With that being said, man, I'm done.
Please like and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Also, check out our podcast on all major streaming services. Like my brother said, we do it for you. It's the Boxing Bros.
Peace.
We bring the feeling like we're gonna fight ya. Anything